As the first light of dawn stretches across the eastern horizon, it spills over amber fields, steel cities, and silent highways. From above, the United States appears as a canvas of light and shadow, a mosaic of ambition and resilience. The mountains stand tall, the rivers carve endless paths, and the cities gleam with a restless energy. From the outside, you might see only the glory, the promise of liberty, the symbols of triumph, the stars and stripes fluttering against the sky. But beneath this spectacle, beneath the celebrations and parades, lies a weight that cannot be measured in gold or applause. This is the burden of greatness. Greatness in its purest form isn't just about accumulating wealth, power, or accolades. It's a responsibility, an enduring covenant with history and conscience. Every generation of Americans inherits this covenant, whether they seek it or not. The promise of freedom, the charge to lead, the expectation to act justly, these are not gifts, they are obligations. And with that obligation comes the persistent question: are we worthy of the legacy we've been given? History whispers the answer, sometimes in triumph, sometimes in regret. The Founding Fathers in their candlelit rooms debated liberty and justice, imagining a nation that could shine as a beacon to the world. They wielded ideals like swords, carving principles into documents that would outlive them. Yet, even as they envisioned greatness, they wrestled with deep contradictions. Slavery, exclusion, and inequity marred the canvas of their aspirations. The burden of greatness was evident even then. To be chosen, to lead, is to confront the shadows within yourself. Through the centuries, the United States has walked a precarious path. The drums of war have summoned its youth to distant shores, calling on them to defend ideals that were sometimes fragile, sometimes flawed. Industrial might reshaped landscapes and societies, raising cities that touched the clouds but casting long shadows over those left behind. Immigrants seeking hope found opportunity and hardship intertwined. The burden of greatness persisted. Every triumph carried the echo of responsibility, every innovation a moral reckoning. To lead the world, to be a model of liberty, is not merely to succeed. It is to confront every failure, every injustice with courage and humility. And yet, it is in this very confrontation that greatness is tempered. It is in the quiet moments, when the bustle of cities fades, when the roar of factories subsides, when the flags are lowered at dusk, that a nation faces its own reflection. What does it mean to be exceptional? Is it the monuments we build, the battles we win, the wealth we amass? Or is it the compassion we extend, the promises we keep, the conscience we honor when no one is watching? The burden of greatness is never a matter of public acclaim. It is a private reckoning, an internal dialogue that stretches across generations. Consider the innovators who changed the world, the activists who demanded justice, the leaders who bore impossible decisions on weary shoulders. Their greatness wasn't measured solely by success, but by the weight they carried, the sleepless nights, the moral dilemmas, the sacrifices made in silence. And in their striving, the nation itself learns to navigate its identity, proud yet humble, ambitious yet ethical, strong yet empathetic. This is the paradox that defines the American soul. The burden of greatness also manifests in the ordinary, unnoticed moments. In classrooms where teachers ignite curiosity, in hospitals where nurses hold the hands of the suffering, in neighborhoods where citizens reach across divides to extend understanding. Here, the covenant is renewed, quietly, persistently. Greatness is not a spectacle of fireworks. It is the persistence of character, the adherence to principles when convenience tempts compromise. It is a heartbeat, steady and resolute, that courses through every citizen, not just every leader. Today, we stand in a world that looks to the United States with admiration and expectation, sometimes with skepticism, sometimes with hope. The same mountains and rivers, the same cities and plains now witness a global stage that is more interconnected, more scrutinized, and more complex than ever before. The burden is heavier, the stakes are higher. Every policy, every gesture, every innovation carries ripples far beyond the nation's borders. Yet the essence remains. Greatness is inseparable from responsibility. To be chosen is to act with integrity, to wield power with wisdom, to bear the consequences of both triumphs and errors. And as we gaze forward, as new generations rise to claim the torch, the question remains, how will they answer this call? Will they embrace the burden with courage, with vision, with empathy? Will they acknowledge the shadows alongside the light, the flaws alongside the accomplishments? History offers both caution and inspiration. The burden of greatness is not a curse. It is an invitation to lead by serving, to serve by reflecting, and to reflect by growing. In the quiet that follows the roar, in the dawn that follows the night, there lies a promise. The promise of a nation that can aspire to its highest ideals while never forgetting its human frailty. The burden of greatness is a solemn song, sung in victories and defeats alike. It is a melody that calls not for applause but for conscience, not for envy, but for empathy, not for dominion, but for stewardship. And so the stars and stripes continue to flutter over mountains and plains, over cities and rivers, over the dreams of millions who walk, run, build, and hope beneath them. They flutter as a reminder that greatness is not an inheritance, nor a trophy. It is a covenant, renewed with every decision, every act, every thought. To be chosen is not to be exalted. It is to be tasked. To bear the burden is to honor the promise. This is the heart of the American story. A nation of light and shadow, of triumph and trial, of hope and responsibility. And in this duality, in this tension between glory and conscience, the soul of greatness endures, not in monuments, not in medals, not in fame, but in the unwavering pursuit of a nation that dares to be exceptional while remaining human, that strives to lead while remembering to serve, that carries the burden of greatness with courage, humility, and heart. The dawn rises once more, spilling gold over the land, and with it a reminder. Greatness is not granted. It is chosen, claimed, and carried every day by those willing to bear its weight. And in the bearing, in the struggle, in the striving, the promise of a nation lives on, vibrant, resilient, and ever aspiring to that which is noble, just, and true. Thank you for joining me on this reflection. If these thoughts resonated with you, consider subscribing and hitting the like button to support our journey. I'll see you in the next episode. Every story is a seed. When we plant them together, the world will bloom. Please subscribe and share this story to help us plant more seeds of love and hope.